Yeah.
All right, spoiler thoughts.
Spoilers, yes. So,
Yeah.
so the whole movie kind of, like I said, it centers around, like Ed Harris's character is complaining that they're getting really bad leads. They want
Mhm.
the Glengarry leads, and so he's talking to Alan Arkin's character, and trying to trying to light a fire under him, and then it gets to the point where it was, oh, we're gonna break into the office.
We are.
What? We're gonna break into the office and steal the leads, and then sell them to this other guy. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't do it. They saw how angry I was.
Yeah. I got I
They'll
got to have an alibi. Yeah,
they'll assume it was me.
yeah. They won't know it's you.
Yeah. And so it's like that's their plot is Ed talking him into it. And of course,
Mhm.
the next day they show up and the office has been broken into.
Yeah,
And Alan Arkin is acting very nervous because there's a police detective around.
yeah. Yeah, and then and he's of course he goes in and interviews with him. And he comes out and says, I can't believe you're treating me like this. This isn't America.
Gestapo tactics.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like, uh-oh, they're onto him. But then I start getting an inkling that Jack Lemmon's character seemed a little bit too happy, even though he had seemingly made a big sale.
yeah. With two very questionable clients.
Yes. And yeah, get me. And he was just so desperate. Like, get me on that board. Get me on that board. You can't treat people like this.
Yeah,
Whose member did you have to kiss to get this job? Oh,
yeah, yeah,
there was a time where I could have gone down there and told Murray or whatever Murray and Murray, whatever the company's actual name was.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and I would have had your job in an hour. But like that. It's a thing. It's like while Jack Lemmon is a pathetic character, at the same time, you realize that he is just Pacino's character on a bad luck streak and getting close to retirement. With, he doesn't have the same power he used to.
Right. Yeah, and so, of course the whole thing with Pacino is he was working this guy in the Chinese food restaurant to sell him this land in Florida and he manages to do it, and he gets the check, and of course um, gets the checks and gets him to sign the contract. But then the break-in happens, and so Pacino's like, "What did you send the check to the bank? Did you get the contract?" And all, and Spacey's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
He's just like super like he's like a dog with a bone, won't let it go.
Right? Yeah,
I want my Cadillac car.
yeah. Yeah, and of course, then the guy walks in and he's like, "Oh, I need my check back."
And my wife said I gotta.
Yeah,
I can't do this. It's like they spend like so then there's like a 10-minute scene. And I've actually been on the receiving end of that, like when I was trying to sell people on like a phone plan or something where it's like for them this is like a very big deal, like a big commitment that they're putting down for, right?
right. Yeah,
Um, it's like you got to like spend some time with them, coax them, even if they're like thinking of backing out on it. You got to like try to talk them back into it.
hmm
And Al was like, so the guy has 3 days to give up. He says, "Oh, I got
right.
to get out of here. I'll be back Monday." But Monday will be past the 3 days. The city attorney said that I had 3 days. Hey, look, it doesn't. Like, and then he tries to like lie to. He just flat lies to him. Like, oh no,
Yeah,
it yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, or
Tuesday
Wednesday, Thursday,
to
Friday.
Friday.
The weekend doesn't count. Monday,
Yeah,
Monday, we'd still have time.
yeah. Jeez.
Complete shyster.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then Spacey ruins it um, by lying and saying that the check had already been sent in.
Right. Yeah.
And so the guy leaves, and he's like, gonna have to do something, like cancel the check or something. It's like,
Yeah.
you just cost me a job. And Jack Lemmon like starts ripping it up. Yeah, you don't do that. You don't lie unless you know the play.
Yeah, yeah.
You're an idiot. You don't know your business.
Right, yeah.
Wait, how did you know that? How did you know that was a lie?
Yeah.
And like I'd been suspecting, since he showed up and was actually kind of happy, it was Jack Lemmon who broke in and stole the leads and the contracts.
And presumably the phones, I think, because remember they
Yeah, and
stole
all
a
the
phone.
phones.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, by the way, that sale you made with the what was it the Gundersons or something like that? It was like
Yeah,
it was something
something.
that sounded kind of like Norwegian.
Yeah, yeah. It was fake, wasn't it?
Well, it's like they were a couple of crazy people who liked to waste people's time because they were just liked talking with salesmen.
Right. Yeah.
And so they would agree to things and then back out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah, says Spacey. I checked out that lead months ago. They just like to waste your time. And why did you give me that lead? Because I don't like you.
Yeah.
And that was so oddly satisfying in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know what occurs to me? The Gil character on The Simpsons works because he is consistently pathetic. And he has like when he like Gil got his own episode at one point back when I was watching it.
Mm.
And he like when he was on top, he was actually like very like when he actually started having some whiffs of success, as memory serves, he was actually very grateful and overjoyed and didn't quite understand how it was happening, but
Yeah.
he was gracious about it, right?
Right.
Where
Yeah.
Jack Lemmon gets a whiff of money and success and he just goes full blown asshole.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that whole little bit where he was going at Spacey's like, oh wow, man.
Yeah, like man, I know that, and mind you, the night before he'd been groveling pathetically. Give me the good leads. I'll pay you $50 a lead, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you'll get 20%. And I just need good leads, man. I got to get out of this losing streak.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like give me 100 lead. Fuck you.
Yeah.
uh, which
Yeah.
like was basically Spacey playing with him because he didn't have the money,
Right.
and also just like yeah, he didn't he didn't like him because why
Yeah,
would he
yeah.
like him? Because you have this guy who's alternately smug and pathetic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and of course the part with Jack Lemmon where you kind of feel some sympathy for him is because he has a daughter who is in the hospital
Yep.
and he's got to pay her hospital bills.
Or else she's kicked out.
Right. Yeah. You don't get any other information about like what's wrong with her or anything. You just know that there's she's sick and in the hospital and yeah.
Yep. Like my daughter, fuck you.
Yeah.
This is as he has shown him the money that he got for selling the leads, and like I think he's trying to bribe him with it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and what was I
Just a
gonna say?
Weasley little snake.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're all every there are no saints in this movie. You know, everybody in this movie is just a total asshole in one way or another.
Yeah, Alan Arkin is probably the least, just
Yeah,
because of his follower nature. That's also why he isn't at the top of the charts in this business.
yeah,
Um, I would also say that Kevin Spacey is sympathetic because Jack Lemmon is just kind of badgering him the night before as he's trying to go, I'm going to go home, drive for an hour, hang out with my kids for an hour, and come back here to keep working.
yeah,
And here's this old washed up jerk cursing him out, begging for special favors, and eating up his time. You know what? Fine, you can have the Gundersons.
yeah,
And I know it isn't Gunderson, but it is something that kind of sounds similarly like Scandinavian, Nordic, whatever.
yeah, yeah. What was it? Oh yeah, and of course that whole scene with where Pacino's just ripping into Spacey is just like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so probably the characters you feel worst for in order are Spacey and then Arkin, because
Yeah,
Arkin actually did the right thing and he didn't do the right thing insofar as he did not report that the guy was scheming on that,
yeah, yeah.
but he
But
clearly
but
said
he
no.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
as much as he was being pressured.
yeah,
But
yeah,
man, like the payoff at the end there was just so great.
yeah, yeah, and of course it just you don't see what happens to Lemon, although you assume he probably does a little time.
Yep. And
And,
he for sure his butt is on the streets.
oh yeah, yeah, all Gil's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, good.
Ugh.
Yeah, you can see why. I feel like there's a lot of movies out there where it's like the meme for a scene,
Mhm.
and there's like a reason the meme caught on. But the reason the meme was able to catch on was because enough people saw the movie to have that meme or have that moment stand out to them.
Yeah.
And I would say this movie definitely lives up to the meme.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, so much so that Baldwin even kind of parodied it in Boss Baby. He's like, "Cookies are for closers."
Yeah, uh, yeah. He was probably what in his like 20s, 30s at the time.
Yeah, early maybe early 30s, maybe mid 30s, somewhere around in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I mean, the fact that he could stand with all these great actors
Yeah.
and stand out among them, probably it couldn't have hurt his career at all.
No, it definitely helped. Yeah, and I think this was after Hunt for Red October.
Okay.
Oh. So people already kind of knew who he was by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed was that I hadn't thought of the '90s as having a particular music style for movies,
Mm.
but dang, the soundtrack in this is so '90s.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
With that synth jazz stuff that was all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. This is 1992 is all get out.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the one last observation like was kind of on my mental list of things I got to get out there. It's like, dang, '90s actually did have a flavor. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it did. Yeah. And,
So good movie, folk.
yes, good movie.
Thumbs up.
Yep.
As long as you can deal with cynicism and some legitimately offensive language. Oh, did you think it was funny that they bothered so the Chinese woman at the restaurant who took their coats at the start?
Yeah.
Did you notice that she got like billing in the opening credits?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I kind of kept it like I kind of like I thought, okay, she's up there. When is she coming back? No, it's because there's so few actors that everybody got billing in the
Yeah.
opening credits.
Well, and it's the only woman billed in the whole movie too.
Yeah, 'cause this is definitely about like it's not, I guess it's like the closest in professional life you can get to a war movie to an extent.
Yeah.
Like they're stuck in the trenches or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what this movie definitely taught me, I'm glad I am not in sales.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Oof. I I I wouldn't have lasted I wouldn't last a day in sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I
guys, I think that marks the end of our Glengarry Glen Ross review. So we're closing this out, which I guess means we can have a coffee now.
yes. Yeah. So